Again.
I think we do.
Okay, we're going to start over. All right, so we're going to start the City of Carpinteria Architectural Review Board meeting for Thursday, May 28th. Brett, if you could do the roll call for us, please.
Chair Blakemore,
Here.
Board Member Little,
Still here.
and Board Member Wolf.
All right, thank you.
Showing that Board Member O'Connor is absent.
All right, and we are down to 4. Is that,
That's
maybe we can
correct.
discuss that later on in the meeting, what the process is and the timeline for that, because I'm curious.
Yes, yes, thank you.
Now is the portion of our meeting reserved for public comment on items not on the agenda. Is anyone from the public here for items not listed on the agenda tonight? Seeing no one in the audience, is there anyone on Zoom?
At this time, if you're on Zoom, now's the time for public comment. If you have a hand raised, you can go ahead and speak. At this time, there's no public comment.
All right, thank you. And now, is there any ex parte communications for any of the items on tonight's agenda from the board?
No.
No. Board Member Wolf is no. I am also a no. Tonight's first item on the agenda is Mills Corner Comprehensive Sign Program. Is the applicant available? Good evening.
Hello,
Hello.
Dan Morris for Freedom Signs.
All right, Dan, thanks for joining us. And Brett, will you be taking us through this, or is Dan gonna?
For this item, Marisol Smith is
Oh.
the planner for the project, and she'll be taking us through the project. And take it away.
Thank you.
All right, so we're reviewing the sign program proposed for 5030 Carpinteria Avenue. The project, as we know, is prominently located at the intersection of Linden Avenue and Carpinteria Avenue. It has one building and a adjacent parking lot, and the building has 6 tenant spaces. The sign program proposes various sign types, including building identification, reusing an existing sign cabinet on the brick element along Carpinteria Avenue, wall signs for the tenants, window signs, as well as a directory sign. Additionally, they're rebranding the building as Mills Corner, as a nod to the Mills drugstore that was once a building located at that intersection. So as far as our analysis goes, the proposal complies with the zoning standards that are specific to sign programs. So for example, the directory sign, which would accommodate all 6 tenants, each tenant would be under the maximum allowed of 2 square feet. Wall signs are individually less than 80 square feet and therefore comply. Now, when it comes to the central business district, in that zone code section, they look at allowed signage per use based on linear frontage of each use. So 5 of the uses, when you sum up all their signs, regardless of the location that the signs are on, they fall under the maximum allowed based on the linear frontage of their use. 1 suite was over the maximum allowed, so we'll review that on the next slide. Use number 3, which is 5032 Carpinteria Avenue, highlighted on the floor plan there. It has a frontage of 20 feet, which translates to 20 square feet allowed sign area. The proposed signage, once you add it all up, goes over this by about 5.5 square feet. The zone code does offer a route for a modification that the Architectural Review Board and the director can evaluate, provided that some findings can be made. The findings are listed fully in the staff report, summarized on the screen there. So staff evaluated these various modification findings, and we do feel that a justification can be made for a modification. for tenant suite number 3, particularly under findings A and E. So while the tenant space, as you can see on the screen, has a narrow frontage on the floor plan, it does function as part of a much larger building facade. And it really reads as a larger commercial space because 5030, which fronts Carpinteria Avenue, does not have a storefront on that side. So it really reads as this belongs to this tenant and all this belongs to this tenant. The proposed sign is also proportional to this tenant space. It is symmetrical and proportional, so it really seems to match up and be adequate and not contributing to over signage by any means or any other negative aesthetic impacts by having them exceed the allowed signage per use under the Central Business District criteria. So that was staff's analysis. We would want the board to, the board's feedback on your opinion of whether a case can be made for a modification. Overall, it was a great sign program. It provides very explicit locations, sign types, colors, and design criteria for staff to review future sign proposals against. And so we would need feedback from the board on the proposal, the locations, the design, how it fits in with the building and the neighborhood, as well as the amount of signage allowed for each of the tenants. The sign program document itself, if it was clear to understand, and of course, as we discussed, the findings for a modification. We also received 2 public comment letters, which you should have there in your packet. One of them I'll let you review. It has to do with some suggestions on the lighting, conditions of approval that staff would add, as well as some suggestions on color. The second public comment has to do with the history of that intersection and some errors I made in my staff report. So I apologize for those errors. I didn't spell Margaret Mills correctly, and Mills is M-I-L-L-S, so it shouldn't be apostrophe S. Her last name wasn't Mill, it was Mills. So if the owner of the building is referencing Margaret Mills, who was an esteemed former city council member and Carpinterian of the Year, then they might want to consider removing the apostrophe and calling it Mills Corner without the apostrophe. Also, there was a correction that it was the Mills Drug Store. So with that, they are here for preliminary final, and I can take any questions that you might have.
All right. Do you have questions for staff? Do you have questions for staff, Board Member Wolf?
I do. And my question for staff is about any rules or codes about branding buildings. This is a 1/4 acre building. It's really small. And my question, and this, we can talk about this as we go along. There are no other branded buildings on Carpinteria Avenue that I saw that are this small. I think there's a couple down on Linden that are giant structures with lots of tenants. I'm not understanding the branding policy for the city of Carpinteria, and I'd love to hear about it because I guess I'm new. I've only been in Carpinteria for 30 years, so I just need to find out what that policy is.
Board Member Wolf, we do not have a policy guiding branding for buildings. It is appropriate for a multi-tenant building. It does help in the leasing to have an identity to the building, and I believe that's what they're trying to create is a strong identity on a prominent corner. But we do not have policies, guidelines, or requirements that apply for branding of buildings. Besides review of signs, obviously, we would review the sign, review a sign program.
Right, it's an additional sign, and so it seems like it comes under.
It's counted towards all the totals, falls under all the criteria as a sign, but nothing specific to branding or sign content.
Thank you.
I have a question just regarding absent Board Member O'Connor's comment about the condition about the color of the existing wall cabinet signs. Is there not an explicit color prescribed by the city for that? Or I guess I'm not clear where his concern is coming from on this.
I'm not sure where
Okay.
what his
So
concern is about.
there is an existing wall cabinet sign, and it is currently lit up, and is that going to change? I mean, the lighting on that
We
sign,
need to have halogen bulbs and it'll be
Okay.
converted to LED. So
LED, okay,
we can take that into account and change the color temperature.
roger that, perfect. Any other questions for staff? Dan, would you care to add anything to Marisol's?
Just
Presentation?
briefly, thank you for that, Marisol, summed it up great. So the goal was really to unify and kind of clarify what the tenants get to do so that they all kind of fall in line and we don't have a hodgepodge of signage. And then to name the building was kind of important for the new owners. They've done a lot of renovation. They want to make it, a prominent building and name it as part of this plan. So we tried to use materials that were kind of period specific and a design that kind of fit the building, kind of mid-century, aluminum letters. We're using an existing can and just splitting it between the four main tenants, and then each individual tenant gets a set of dimensional letters next to their door, and some vinyl on the glass,
Okay.
and one directory, and the directory is really covering up the old ATM machine that was there. There's a hole in the wall, and so
Got it.
we decided to cover that up.
Oh, can you turn your mic on?
Oh, I'm sorry. And yeah, that's it. Happy
I'm
to answer
sorry,
questions.
I thought you were telling me somebody had their hand up on Zoom, sorry. Okay, do you have any questions for the applicant? Board Member Little.
No, I do not.
Board Member Wolf, do you have questions for the applicant?
Dan, thanks for coming. I need a little background. Who is the owner? It's not you.
No,
Are you a tenant of the building?
no, I prepared the sign plan.
You're just the sign guy.
John Ryan regrets not being able to be here tonight, and last minute I kind of stepped in to make sure we could get on the meeting tonight. So I prepared this sign program. We'll
Okay.
make the signs. Hopefully I can answer your questions, but like the history of the building and stuff like that, I don't have a lot of information for you.
Okay. I think my greatest concern is the branding, and when you just said the words hodgepodge of signage. What we've got on one of the existing architectural features is what appears to me as a hodgepodge of signage, because you're including a branding of a very, very small building. So I don't really know why that's there. I don't know if everybody in Carpinteria needs to have that building branded in order to find it. It just doesn't make sense to me at all.
Is there a question for Dan?
The question is, why really is there branding on the building, and it looks like it's adding additional words to an already congested space? Why is that there?
Well, I don't want to put words into John Ryan's mouth, but the way he explained it to me is that the building has some history as a drugstore, and he wanted to name the building. He thinks it's important so that people think of the building as a spot, a location, a place to go. He wants to brand it, and we come up with a way to fit it with the existing signage and it fits with the new signage. I think hopefully we've done that. Yeah, I just know he strongly felt he wanted to name the building.
Any other questions for Dan?
Dan, the big framed sign up there that doesn't have, it has 2 tenants at this point. And you don't know what the other tenants are. You being in the sign business, how easy is that to replace names as tenants come in and out? And how, is it all one piece of glass? Are they all separate individual places? There's 6 tenants, so there'll be 6 names there, right?
There'll only be 4. Only the 4 major tenants are going to get spaces on that sign. And it's vinyl applied to acrylic. It's one sheet of acrylic, but easy to remove and replace. And we did have 3 tenants in place, and then it changed as we developed. This has been like 6 months in the works. So the final version, we got down to 2 that we knew were going to be in there. I think he might even have that 3rd tenant, maybe the 4th as well. Yeah.
Your questions?
Chair Blakemore,
Yes.
if you're going to questions.
I have
Okay.
2 questions.
Just gonna,
Would you be open to the idea of, and I think you indicated you already would be, specifying a warm lighting for the LED? And also, we received a really interesting public comment letter about the history of the building, noting that the last name was Mills. And so grammatically correct, it would be Mills with the apostrophe after. Can we?
Just saw that and completely agree.
Yeah.
We had a conversation about it. Should it have an apostrophe? And we decided it should, but fine with no apostrophe.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you'd be open with that. Okay, I think that's all the questions from the board. Is there anyone here for public comment on this item? Anyone on Zoom for public comment on this item?
At this time, if you would like to make a public comment, raise your hand and we will allow you to speak. At this time, there are no public comments.
All right, thank you very much. We'll bring it back to the board for comments. Who would like to start? Or I'll pick you.
I'll start. As far as the exceeding the maximum signage footage, I don't see a problem with that. It doesn't seem to be overly in your face, so I think we're fine on that. I would agree that certainly to stay in a historical concept of dropping the apostrophe so that it goes along with the comment made by Leslie Irvin. So that's an important point. And I don't see an issue with branding the particular building by itself. And the way it looks right now, I think it's fine. It's not, sticking out there in your face. So I'm fine with that. So, and I'm glad you're going to the softer colors with the LED lights.
All right, thank you, Board Member Little. Board Member Wolf?
I think my greatest concern is the fact that we've seen for the last number of years, lots of businesses rotate in and out of there so fast that I don't know if Freedom Signworks is going to be able to keep up with the changes with one piece of glass. And it makes more sense to me that it would be done in strips or individual panels so that it can circulate out and it's not a dated sign instantly every time tenants switch out. It's not that easy to get to, and printing out an entire sign every time somebody switches out, it just, that's all I'm thinking.
So I think the person controlling that and making those decisions is actually a realtor, so I think he's going to be fairly on the ball with making sure that is updated.
And his goal is definitely to get tenants in there for a longer period of time,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
that's the goal. And honestly, not a huge deal for us to switch out names, the vinyl letters that remove, so we don't have to print a whole panel. We'll just remove the lettering, put new lettering up, and yeah.
Plus Dan's got to stay in business.
Yeah, exactly. Keep making money.
Do you have further comments, or are you?
I also, obviously, I think the branding is unusual. And also from the back side of that, we're not looking at the reverse, but the back side of that column where it says Mills Corner is a little more wonky. If you're looking at it from facing, I guess it would be facing west.
He's got both so both the elevations are shown here and here.
Yeah, that one. So this is the east elevation, excuse me, on the east elevation. It's definitely a little bit more strange, but to me, and if we're supposed to be looking at the architectural design of this, I'm just gonna make the comment, I think it's too many words. Too many words in covering up the architecture that's fine without it. That's my comment.
Okay. My comments are that I support the modification for the 1 unit. I appreciate the applicant's willingness to remove the apostrophe. I think that's important for the historical nature. I don't have a problem with the branding of the building. I think it's a really central, we all drive by that building probably several times a day because it's right in the middle of everything. So I think having a branding on it is fine. And I would appreciate the applicant considering a warm light for the wall cabinet sign. This is here for preliminary and final. So I will make a motion to approve the project with comments. Anyone? No?
I'd second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye? Okay. All set. Thank you, Dan. Okay, moving on to item number 2 on the agenda, the Agilent Tenant Improvements and Addition. We have the applicant here in the audience. Come on up.
Just give me a second while I move around.
Okay. Yeah, this is a new layout for us. We're not quite, we're usually straight, so big adjustment.
This might be the one thing. Chair Blakemore, members of the board, my name is Brett McNulty. This project is new equipment, sorry about that, jumping around. New equipment enclosure and landscaping project for an existing an industrial research building located at 1005 Mark Avenue. The project is a proposal for construction of new equipment enclosure located at the exterior southwest corner of the building as viewed from Cindy Lane. Approximately 166 square foot exterior equipment yard with emergency generator, with included fuel storage and electrical panels. There will be a sound attenuating panel to achieve a 50 decibel sound level at the property line after construction, and this is consistent with the city's municipal code standard for that zone district. And that will be at the during emergency events where the power goes down and needs to be supplied to the building. Landscaping The project where the location of the enclosure is will require removal of approximately 166 square feet of the existing landscaping and require proposed replacement planning at the rear parking lot at the very northwest end of the parking lot. Tree replacement was being proposed at the northwest corner frontage to Mark Avenue. This is the aerial of the site, with the property line delineated. We can see where these components are that I just mentioned. With the enclosure generator in this location, and see the north arrow pointing up. So you see that on Cindy Lane from Mark Avenue, this is where the replacement of the landscaping is proposed in the parking area right here. That'll be extending out a planter, putting and moving the parking spaces back slightly to accommodate that. And then in this location along Mark Avenue is where there will be a new tree to replace the tree that is going out. This is the site plan that shows the locations of these items. Once again, the enclosure, the planter, and the location, approximate location of the new tree. This is a photograph at the intersection of Mark Avenue and Cindy Lane, looking to the northeast. So from this intersection, and you can see where the project is going to be located here. And when I say project, I mean the enclosure. And then looking north from Cindy Lane, right at the driveway that was shown on Cindy Lane. Here's where the generator enclosure will be located. And then back in this area, all the way back to the very corner is where the new landscaping will be. And once again, the new tree from the angled in parking along Mark Avenue. The tree will be located approximately in this location here. This is the proposed project as it's depicted on the elevations. From the top is of Mark Avenue, looking to the west, and on the bottom is from Cindy Lane, and I'm gonna just blow that up a little bit so that you can get the texture of the enclosure, as you can see, and it's intended to match. This is an existing part of the architecture of the building, and I'll show you that in just a little bit, that they're matching up the texture, and the color is proposed to be the same. And so then I'm going to try to zoom. Yeah, one more time. Went too far, excuse me. Try that again. I just want to give you a perspective on the projection of that existing tree that's there, and then the palms, and see that the enclosure sticks out into this area where the land, but is shielded from view from Mark Avenue. So close that up. These are line of sight exhibits that were provided by the applicant, showing a perspective on the rooftop equipment that's proposed for the project. I'm going to bring it back a slide because that rooftop equipment is also depicted here. And it's in very light, but as you look at your project plans, you should be able to see that detail, and shown here as well. And moving down and on. So we have an existing photo of the building taken on Google Street View, and then then there's a rendering of the building with the enclosure. I'm taking advantage of the zoom because the visibly challenged planner that you have. And this shows the enclosure tucked in behind the trees there. Now we're looking from Cindy Lane, and you see it existing, and then the proposed rendering here. showing the landscaping, how it will remain after the project has been put in. This is the enclosure specifications. We're showing the that portion of the building that is being matched right here. Do you see where the folks are? That's a, maybe the applicant can shed light on the function of that structure, but that's generally provides the texture for the enclosure, which is shown here with the gates. The side that we looked at before with the texture. Moving over here, again with the texture with the gates. And then this depicts, I believe, where the lighting is going to be located. I heard, okay. Oh, I see it right there. Okay, so we'll get out of this zoom. And then, the lighting sconce, which I have on the next page. So this depicts the lightings of the proposed dark sky lighting sconce or lighting luminaire that's being proposed for the project. And moving out, come on, let me out of that view. Thank you. I started with the proposed planting plan because it seems more logical to do, because we have a fairly small planting plan here to focus on the plants and then to talk about the identification. In your packet, you have a new handout of the landscaping that I provided. Mm-hmm. Okay, I just want to draw everyone's attention to it if they haven't seen it. So we have the tree, the Arcanto Phoenix.
Arcanta Phoenix.
Thank you.
You did it. You were good.
Cunningham Ayana, the king palm that's proposed for the project. They have blue agave and Dudlea Bretonia, the blue flame agave and giant chalk Dudlea, and then Carex diversa, European gray sedge, and their planting sizes. Okay, and then we move to the proposed landscaping. So the landscaping is in 3 locations. I've just blown them up here, thanks to the guidance of our director. So to the left, where I'm pointing, it shows where the tree is being removed with landscaping. Then the replacement landscaping up at the top, at the very northwest corner of the parking lot, where it shows the parking spaces bulbed back. Get back to where I was, thank you. And then the location of the new king palm. Okay, then, so for the regulatory setting applicable to the project, the zoning is Industrial Research Park District. The general plan land use designation is for research development industrial. And the project is located in the general plan community design subarea 4, the northeast. The Carpinteria Municipal Code, section 1426, provides regulations for the industrial and office uses and a range of affordable housing types that are allowed in that zone district. The community design element, citywide objectives and policies, objectives CD1, regulates this, directs the scale and form of buildings and their placement within this zone and their relationship to adjacent and nearby properties with the dominant neighborhood or district development pattern. Policy CD 13B states that lighting shall be low intensity and located and designed so as to minimize direct view of light sources and diffusers and to minimize halo and spillover effects. Subarea 4 objectives and policies, objective CDS 4-1 is to strengthen that visual and physical connections between the sub-area, downtown and other neighborhoods and districts in the city. A summary of the design review issues that staff is requesting the board members to comment on are the following issues. The proposed new generator, equipment enclosure, the materials, design, and color, the rooftop screening adequacy, proposed landscaping, tree replacement, the tree itself, and irrigation, and lighting fixture, and its qualifications as a night sky friendly compliant appliance. Recommendation is that the board should receive public testimony and provide comments to the applicant and staff, and if the board feels the project meets the applicable design criteria, the board may recommend preliminary and final approval to the community development director. And that's my presentation.
Thank you very much, Brett. Do we have questions for Brett, for staff?
No.
No. Okay. Does the applicant want to add to the presentation? All right. Okay. Do we have questions for the applicant?
I've driven by the site on a couple of occasions, and I'm just curious why the structure is going more towards the front of the building where you have so much space in the parking lot in other spots. Even today when I drove by and actually into the lot, there was maybe a quarter of the spots were filled. So why couldn't the structure be moved more towards the back of the lot?
Turn on your microphone, please.
Hello. Yes, so we were trying to balance the requirements of the city and as well as the landlord, and the landlord did not allow us to have that in the parking lot. So we provided two options for her, one in the parking lot and one on the side, and she did not want the parking lot.
Really? Huh. Interesting, because you have lots of parking spots and few cars. And then also, right at that corner, there's a lot of, it looks like the gas lines and things like that. So all those are going to be moved then?
No, so we did an underground study, so our contractors did an underground study, and there should be no interference with those.
With the existing utilities?
Yeah.
Okay.
Questions for the applicant? Oh, I neglected to get your names. I'm sorry.
Sure, my name's Esmeralda Anaya.
Jack Kiesel of Kiesel Design Landscape Architecture.
All right.
Oh, sorry.
Let's do it again.
Jack
for the
Kiesel
record.
of Kiesel Design Landscape Architecture.
Fantastic. Thank you. Questions for the applicant?
I couldn't find what, is it Agilent?
It's Agilent Technologies.
I don't know what that is and what kind of a lab it is.
So yes, it's a biopharma services lab. And so we are, so the lab helps pharmaceutical companies with cancer diagnostic testing.
Okay. So the generator is important.
Yes, so we have refrigerators with slides. So the generator really is to keep temperature monitored slides, and as well as the equipment. So if there's an outage, the equipment can still run, and the refrigerators can remain on.
Is the lab inside, it doesn't sound to me like the whole thing would explode?
No, not at all.
Okay, thank you. That was my question.
Okay. Is there anyone for public comment on this item? No? Anyone on Zoom?
At this time, there is no public comment.
Okay, we'll bring it back to the board for comments. Board Member Little.
Can I ask an additional question?
Sure. Whatever floats your boat.
Given that the state of California seems to be wanting to move away from diesel fuel entirely, are there other alternatives to using the diesel backup generators?
So we looked at battery, and we looked at other alternatives, but they weren't feasible. So the best option would be the gas.
The diesel fuel.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. Sure. Well, given that it seems that the only option, according to the landlord, is the present location, and looking at the colors and the surface and all that, that seems to blend in pretty well with the existing building. The dark gray just kind of blends in there. And the plantings that you'll have there will help disguise it even more. The putting the planting on the far back, to me, just seems superfluous and not necessary, but maybe it's a requirement since you're removing some planting, you've got to put it somewhere. So I'd be okay if you didn't even plant in that back corner, just leave it as the parking spots as it is. The plantings seem to be okay. I'm not a King Pong fan, but I guess it will fit in fine.
Best ones. Thank you, Board Member Little. Board Member Wolf, you have comments?
I just wanted to bring up, Board Member O'Connor mentioned the decibels of the generator, and I'm just, do you have a comment on, is it too high for that area?
No, so it's actually it's low. So with the walls and the acoustics that we'll have, and the generator itself, it will meet the city requirements. It'll be at 50, and I believe with the acoustics, minus 15. But we'll do we have an acoustic consultant on board. That's done all of
the
the reports.
acoustic study submitted by the applicant addresses that issue, and the enclosure's rated to bring the decibels down to 50 dBA, and that is at the property line, and that it meets the city's requirement and the municipal code.
Okay.
Okay, and my comments are, I'm very familiar with this area because I have a 15-year-old, so we do driving lessons on the weekends there because there's literally nobody over there. So I've been driving by this building a lot. I do notice that you're below anything that would require WELOS on this, which is great, but it may be something nice to float to the owner that there's a ton of lawn there, and it might, long-term might be useful to eliminate some of that lawn. I just feel like I need to say that out loud for my
Okay.
conscience. Also on the acoustic tile, I recently put some in on a project, and it was just an extremely long lead time. There was like one mold, and it was somebody had it, and you couldn't, he was using it, and we couldn't have it until he was done. I mean, it was just
Oh,
so
good to know.
I'm sure you're probably more in with the acoustic situation. It was the first time I dealt with that, and it was I think it took us maybe 4 months to
Oh, wow.
even get
Okay.
the material ordered. I mean, it was absurd. So just a little highlight. And also, just on the planting plan, I love your palette. It's great, but just a little concern on a commercial setting, that carex. I've been finding the carex divulsa just after like a year and a half, it just goes away. The Festuca glauca, just a regular gray fescue, might be a little bit more hardy, but you do you. And also on the deadliest too, they can just be so temperamental. Maybe like a larger scale echeveria or something might, I don't know. I love these plants. I think they're totally appropriate, but just in a commercial area might be a little challenging.
Yeah, just understood. I agree on a lot of those counts. The idea is that the agave will kind of grow over time, and they get bigger than
Yeah.
you think. Like so
Yeah,
many
they do
plants.
get
and
huge.
eventually they'll shade out the other stuff.
So it'll just be sort of temporary. But yeah, in general, I support the project, and I think it, you got to do what makes the building work, and cancer research is important. So I think I'll bring it back and put a motion together. Can you want to do the motion this time?
Sure.
Okay.
I make a motion that we accept the project as is and can go to final.
All second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you guys so much for
Thank you.
coming in. I appreciate it.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, and now we are moving on to other business. So we've got a matters by staff. Is that what we're looking at next?
Yes.
Okay.
Chair Blakemore, members of the board, let me bring up the presentation here. Give me a moment.
Oh, it's getting cold.
So this is one that's not on our agenda.
Correct. So oftentimes.
You want to
there'll be a
come up to the
smaller
table.
item that,
It's this one.
yes.
Can't see that far.
Hi,
Shall I get your names for the record?
Aaron Carroll, landscape architect.
Ernesto Cardenas, Director of Construction and Development for Topes Group.
Nice. Thank you for joining us.
Okay. I'm going to introduce your project, and then they'll have a chance, they'll ask me questions, and then it'll go to public comment, and we'll come back and talk with you guys. So, again, Chair Blakemore, members of the board, this is a matters by staff. We're bringing this forward to you. This is for a project located at 5320 Carpinteria Avenue. This is the Shepherd's Place office building. You may be familiar with it. It's at right on Carpinteria Avenue on the north side. The building there's a private driveway that goes back to the apartments next to it, and it's this is for a building permit, number 15122. When this came into us, we noticed a few things about the proposal that made us want to come to you so that we could get your input on the landscaping plan and the tree removals. In the photos that I've taken here, from a perspective on Carpinteria Avenue, you see large trees in the central courtyard of the office building that are very robust and very healthy. And on the interior of the courtyard, in this photograph next to it, those very robust trees are also taking out the walkways and are even creeping. I went to the building and took some photos, and the root structures are upending the walkways, but also in a couple places it looks like it might be endangering the building as well. So I did my best to try to capture some of the damage that I saw there, including the lifting of the cracks here and here. Currently, there are rehabilitation businesses there, which people that are coming in there need to have ADA access, and so it's right now arguably will not meet ADA conditions. And here's a few more visible examples of where this is happening. So the project description is to remove the 2 existing podocampus trees, 4 white birch trees, an evergreen pear, a pygmy date palm tree, and that the tree root balls will be removed to 18 inches below finished grade with a stump grinder. They will stabilize the aggregate patios and pathways with steel edging, then with a new landscaping and planting plan and hardscape plan. All the existing tree ferns will be protected in place. New ADA ramps and courtyard furniture will be placed, and new ADA parking spaces are going to be installed to current code. This is the revised landscaping and interior courtyard plan that is in the plan set that you were provided, showing the walkways and furniture with the planting plan. We have a list of the plants that are going into the project, various palms, plumeria, pyrus, That one I'm not going to butcher. So, the Australian tree fern, the bromeliad, the ripple jade, and a soft caress honia. Some ground covers, Sivia mix, Crassula, Multicava, Lintana, and Othiopogon. Wait, I'm going to say that again. It was satisfying. Okay, so those are the plants that are being proposed. I'll exit out of the Zoom there. There's also another section of landscaping that's located at the corner of Carp Avenue and the driveway. And there's a ADA ramp with rails there, and that's going to be redone. And then you can see the ground cover that is being proposed in that location with this ramp that's being redone. Zoom out. Since we have the plan up here, I'll zoom into that as well. So you can see where the tables are going, new bench, some of the details there. And this is our plant palette. And what staff is asking the Architectural Review Board to provide comments on the proposed landscaping, hardscape, and planting plans. And this is for building permits. So as a matter by staff, we just would ask that you provide the applicant some feedback, and recommendations on is this going in the right direction? And if you have any questions.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Do they have to worry about any stormwater calcs on this? I'm seeing that they've got a organic lock sort of DG material, but it doesn't appear to be permeable, and then the amount of concrete that's going in, is that?
Do you want me to address that?
Yeah, I would like that.
We actually have Flowers and Associates
great.
working on the civil plans right now.
Okay, so they're going to try to throw in some sort of catchment area that you're going to have
We're not
to.
changing any, there's 2 large catch basins in the courtyard, which are staying where they are.
Okay,
So, and if I just elaborate, they have, this was approved originally as a part of a development plan. And the development plan addressed the drainage as well. And then later on, they came back and got an amendment to add a new landscape plan, which is what you see in its maturity now. So, yeah.
that is helpful, thank you. That was my only question for staff. Do you guys have questions for staff?
No.
Is it for staff or for these?
For staff. No? Okay. Do you guys want to add to Britt's presentation at all?
I think he covered all the bases pretty well. The reasons for removing the trees, the 2 podocarpus in particular, is, they're popping up the sidewalks, and they're also producing a lot of leaf litter and fruit litter.
So messy.
When they get large, they're not the most pleasant trees.
No, they're great over there.
Right?
Not right in here. Oh, lucky you.
Yeah, all the furniture, we're providing ADA compliant furniture. The organic lock surface is ADA compliant, to my knowledge.
Yeah.
All the tree ferns will stay, and then plumeria as a secondary tree. So trying to keep it drought tolerant, but sort of subtropical.
Yeah, it'll be nice to get in that sort of a semi-enclosed space that the fragrance will probably
really
stick
a
around
place
too,
for
which
people
would
to
be
have,
nice.
Lunchtime meetings and passive, if they want to work outside, just very, very passive space.
Cool. Do we have questions for the applicant? Yes, board member.
I'm not familiar with this property. Is it right behind, like, PB&J's, and
Yes,
it's directly behind
yes.
with the development behind, the housing development behind it?
Yes.
Is that correct? Are these units, are there already tenants here? So they're all occupied?
No, there's maybe a couple unoccupied spaces there that we're leasing.
Okay. And it's been branded Shepherd Place Professional.
Yes, it has been for a long time, I believe, since it was built.
Okay. All right.
I like this font. It reminds me of a calculator. Do you have questions for the applicant?
No.
Okay. Is there any public comment on this item? There's no one here. Is there anyone on Zoom?
Thank you, Chair Blakemore. At this time, we have no public comment.
Okay, we'll bring it back to the board then. Board Member Wolf, do you want to start on this one?
You mean a proposal?
Comment. What are we providing today? You just want
Just want comments?
feedback and
Yeah,
comments?
feedback.
Not an
if, you
actual
know,
motion.
Any recommendations for any changes, but there's no formal motion, just this is a building permit application. We wanted to take it to you in lieu of reopening the development plan for review because we didn't feel that it was warranted at this level. This is more of a safety issue. And I think that they have a really nice landscaping plan set up for this, and so that's, but we wanted you to weigh in.
Nice.
Thanks.
I did have one question. Looking at the trees that you have, I basically just dig the holes for my wife and plant the stuff. But it doesn't seem like there are any substantial trees that are in here, unless I'm looking at them differently.
That's correct. We do have one evergreen pear out by the corner.
Right, I saw that.
But in the courtyard, we don't want to repeat what we currently have with giant trees.
Right.
Trying to bring more sunlight into the space and do small trees. But I think we'll have a lot of vertical interest, narrow trees like the cordyline and tree ferns.
I really like a view of the trees.
That would probably eat up that space pretty
You
quickly.
think so?
Yes.
Okay. Well, the one I've got is really slow growing.
Oh, gosh, you should, is it
Okay.
getting water? I think the plan looks great. I like the direction you're going with it. My one comment would be that I just haven't seen bromeliads really be successful too much in again, that commercial setting. I just always feel like there's a little bit of extra toughness that has to be in the plants, but I think it's worth a shot. I'm just trying to see if they'll make it. But other than that, I think the palette is appropriate. I love your use of succulents and mixing it up. And the plumerias are great. I think getting some good size. What size plumerias are you trying to get? Ooh, yeah. Could we maybe try to get them a little bit bigger? Because a 5-gallon is
Yeah.
not going to be very big at all. I've been getting some actually 24-inch box from Terrasol, and they're gorgeous, but they're a little bit expensive.
Yeah, we could upsize those.
They come in at about 8 feet tall, which is really
Really, 8 feet?
yeah, 6 to 8 feet. He's been bringing them in, and they are fantastic. Mike at Terrasol. But other than that, I think it looks great. So those are my comments.
If I could clarify, the comment is a larger plumeria.
Larger size plumeria at time of planting,
Great.
if possible. They can be difficult to find sometimes. Is that what you need? Thank you guys so much for coming in. Appreciate it. And good luck with the project. I think that'll be nice. Can other people go in there and sit and use the space?
It is gated, actually,
Darn it.
but during business hours.
Okay, yeah. All right, thank you so much. All right,
Thank you.
next on our list, the consent calendar we did. Matters referred by Planning Commission. I assume we don't have anything there.
No, we do not.
Matters presented by staff, matters presented by board members. I have a question.
Yes.
Hopefully it's an easy one. I noticed
I
that,
do have another item.
oh, you do? Let's do yours first.
What's that?
Let's do yours first.
Okay.
Yours.
The other item was I sent an email out about excuse me, turn my microphone on. I sent out an email to the board asking about our erstwhile retirement of Richard Johnson, and he will be honored at the upcoming city council meeting. And I spoke with city clerk, and he provided me with some guidance for you if you would all like to attend. Because it's a ceremonial component of a meeting, there are things that you're not allowed to sit together, you're not allowed to converse with each other, but you are allowed to say something ceremonial in nature. But I will pass on those guidelines to you so that you have them. I just wanted to get that to you in advance and just talk about it a little bit. So I look forward to that event. The city looks forward to awarding him, honoring him for his 18 years of service to this community. And he's helped me a lot since I came on board a year and 1 month ago already. So I wanted to bring that up to your attention. And
Time
then
flies.
that is the only thing that I have at this time.
We can't sit together?
That's what it says, Brown Act.
Yeah, it's
Brent,
crazy.
I didn't see the email.
I did not either.
Yes, so.
Okay.
Got sent, I think you're sending it to the city
Yeah.
account that we're supposed to be
And I
checking.
can't even get into that still. And even when they do, they tell me.
Yeah, I wasn't able
It's
to get
not-
in
I-
either.
Okay.
Yeah, I was finally able to get in, but it took a lot of work.
That explains a
Like
couple
techie
of
sending
things.
along.
Yeah, like this one, I've never gotten an email asking me if I was coming to this meeting.
And I sent one. I sent
Not-
more than one, yeah. Okay.
So in
That-
other words,
So let's, after we end the meeting, there is one other item also.
why don't you
but,
tell us what the Richard Johnson email said? Do you mind?
It said just that. Please
Just,
come,
yeah.
come to
Wait,
the,
do you know the date?
The
yes, yes.
June 8th.
June 8th.
Thank you. Yes, June 8th,
When?
5:30,
5:30.
Here?
right here, yes.
And when is he retiring?
He's retired.
done.
He retired after our
left
last
us.
meeting.
Didn't know.
I
He
didn't
went on
either until
vacation.
Patrick told me, just a couple weeks, Patrick emailed me or texted me and let me know.
Yeah,
Well, that was the concern that I had, is I found out about reading it in the Coastal View.
Yeah.
It's
Uh,
like,
I think it's
what?
just the emails, and
Yeah.
is there a reason we have to do, I'm already having to check so many different incoming
sure.
things.
I understand. It's,
Four
the,
different email accounts.
so the issue is really about protecting your own personal information from a Public Records Request Act
Oh, I see.
request. And if for some reason your personal email address got caught up in that, there is a conceivable outcome where your own personal computer and phone could be cleared of data and looked at in a court case, which would be, we desire to avoid that for you. And so I'm not sending you emails to your old address right now just because of that reason. So if you have a laptop and you want to bring it in and we can work through it with Brian to make sure that you have access, we can do that.
Yeah.
But we want to make sure that you're using that in any way that we can, and we want to make it,
It kicked me out immediately. It was
And it
like,
kicked
no,
me out
you got
too.
nothing.
I
Okay.
actually even emailed you to say, hey, do we know if we have a quorum tonight? And that even was kicked out. So I was like,
Yeah.
the
oh,
only
well,
thing that's
okay.
really working
If-
for me now is if I just call you on your cell phone. That's the only thing that's working now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well-
That's
So
why
we
I.
Well, we need to get that straightened
We
out.
should contact Brian and make an appointment and
Yeah, let's, and I'm happy to help with that too. So let's work on that.
Can you send a text out to us, to our phones, just a text saying, hey, check your emails? Because I'm not always checking that city
I think you're
email.
gonna have to check it. 'cause
Okay, let's work through that. Yes, I will endeavor to do that. I can't text from the city phone, so it'd be from my cell phone.
And then that starts getting sticky again, yeah.
Yeah.
At least I don't think I can
Okay.
text. I'm pretty sure I can't text
Well,
from
let's
the city
maybe
account.
take the tech discussion offline after we wrap up the Zoom. my matter, my board member, is I noticed the Vagabond Inn went in where the Motel 6 is, the two big signs. Does that, and I noticed their vinyl just kind of hung over there, but is that something that
No,
just happens, or do we have
that
a?
hasn't come across my desk yet, but I
They're
did
just
hear
big
wind
and
of
loud.
that, so I will look into whether those are supposed to be hanging or not.
Here and the one over on Via Real.
Yeah, I will check with the rest of the planning department to see if we have received an application, if it's been processed yet. I know it was mentioned, but I'll follow up on that, and we'll make sure that the required permits are obtained and brought before the ARB as required.
It seemed like it's a much bigger sign than the Motel 6
It's
sign.
very jarring
Yeah,
for some
it's like,
reason.
whoa.
Yeah, both of them. They're just
Maybe
very.
because I'm so used to seeing the Motel 6
Yeah,
sign,
it
all of
could
a sudden
be.
it's Vagabond.
Okay, we'll investigate to see how that process is occurring, and we'll follow up with you.
All right. Next on our list is the attendance for the next meeting. When is that? Is it the 11th of June?
We also have
Skip something?
the approval of the minutes from
Oh,
February
approval of the
28th.
minutes. I forgot to look at the minutes.
I reviewed them. For my part, I'm fine.
Okay. Oh, right. Yes. I make a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Good there. And then next board meeting is going to be, is that June 11? Is that right? The second Thursday?
Have it in here. Apologize.
No worries.
Double check. Calendar. Yes, we. Right now, we do not have anything for the June 11th meeting. I will double check that, but I suspect that we're not going to hold that meeting. But I will follow up with the other planners to be sure. I think that in our projection report, we had one that was coming forward. For Cindy has a project that might be coming forward for a single-family home. So let me check on that one. She was talking about moving it, and
Yeah, I was talking to Cindy, and she seemed to think it would be on the end of the month.
okay.
The 25th.
I think that's pretty good. That's pretty good information right there. 'Cause, she at our staff meeting, she mentioned that it might be moving, but she went on vacation. So
The Big Sur.
good for her.
If it is the 25th, are you both available on the 25th of June?
Yes.
The 25th of June.
Oh, and on the 11th, I'm out of town.
Well, there you go.
And I am too, on the 25th is good. I'm
Okay,
good.
I'm good on the
I'm going
25th
to
as well.
put it in that we are meeting on the 25th, correct?
Yeah.
That is
Is that appropriate?
correct. Yes.
And I'm going to guess that June 11th is not happening.
I think that's certain at this point. Yes.
Okay, then
Yeah.
I'm going to put that on my calendar. It's canceled.
June 25th, it's probably the Cindy show at this point, but we shall see what else comes up
Fun, that sounds fun.
in the meantime.
All right, well, it is 6:40. We'll adjourn the meeting.